请坐回。
Please return to your seats.
各位记者朋友，大家下午
Friends
好
from the media, good
欢
afternoon.
迎参加
Welcome
12届全国人
to
大
the
4次会议记
fourth
者会。
session of the 12th
本次记者
MPC.
会的主题是国企改革。
Today's press conference is about the reform of the state-owned enterprises. We're very delighted to have
国
with
务
us
院国有资产监督管理委员会主任肖亚庆
Deputy
先生。
of Director of SASAC, Mr. Xiao Yaqing, Deputy Director Zhang Xiwu, Deputy Director Huang Danhua, and the spokesperson of SASAC,
围绕
Peng
这一主
Huagang.
题回答大家的提问。
They will talk about the SOE reform and take your questions. First, the floor is yours, Mr. Xiao. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, good afternoon.
今天是周末，大家不辞
So
辛苦
this is
来到
weekend, and you are still reporting the two sessions, and it shows that you have high attention to the two sessions and the reform of the SOE, and I wish to take this opportunity to thank you for your hard work.
党中央、国务
We
院
know that the
历
State
来高
Council
度重视
and
国企
the
改革。
party pays great attention to SOE reform. President Xi Jinping has made a lot of guidance on the
在
reform
参
of
加黑龙
the
江省代表
SOE
团审议时，他还特别
sector.
指出，
When
国有
meeting
企业
with
要
the
深化改革，
delegates of Heilongjiang province,
要
he mentioned that
借东
to
风，
reform the SOE,
要
we need to
激发
leverage
内生
the
活力，
advantages
要
of the
在
market
改
and
革中
to spur the
增强实力。
driving forces within
李克
our
强总
country.
理
Premier
在
Li
政府工
Keqiang
作报告中
also mentioned
也
in
要
the
求
government work report
要以改
that
革
we need
出发
to
展，并对
utilize
国企
reform to
改革的
drive
各项工
development.
作任务，
We should
提出了要求。
implement the reform
我
agenda
们要
earnestly,
主动作为，
and we have the
狠抓落
requirements
实，
from the central government.
坚韧不
And
拔，
going forward, we will
推进
continue to
国企改革
persevere
各
in
项工
these
作。
areas to advance reform
我和我
in the
的
SOE
同
sector.
事们
Today,
今天在这里
and my colleagues
愿意就
are very happy
国
to
企
be
改
here
革的
to take
有关
your
问题
questions on
和大家
SOE
进行探
reform.
讨。谢谢各位。
Thank you.
好，谢谢。现在开始提问，
Now the floor is open for questions.
请中区第3排从那边上数第2位女记者。对。
谢谢主持人，我是来自中国网的记者。国企改革这一重大议题受到了全社会的广泛关注，这其中也有不少议论。有议论认为，国企改革出台的文件不少，但是真正落地的却并不多，改革进展不大。也有观点认为，国企改革现在是上面热下面冷，很多企业还处于等待和观望之中。请问对此您怎么看？ 推进国有企业改革，下一步还会有哪些具体的举措？谢谢。
With China.org.cn, state-owned enterprises reform has attracted great attention from the society. Some people say that relevant reform documents have been formulated, but not so many reform measures have been truly implemented, and the progress of reform has been limited. Other people believe that some enterprises are still waiting instead of truly implementing the reform. My question is, what is the view of SASAC on this? What specific measures will be taken to advance SOE reform? Thank you.
谢谢您的提问。
Thank you for your
关
question.
于国企改革的有关问题啊，
Regarding
我
SOE
向
reform,
你介绍这么几个情况。
I wish to
一
say
个
the
呢，就
following
是
things.
顶层设计的文件啊，已经出台，
The
就是标
policy
志就是
design
1+，
And documents
应该
are
说这个
very
框
clear.
架
We have
已
the
经
1 plus
搭出来。
12
这是一
framework
个。
in
第二个
place.
呢，就是
Number
现
two,
在很多重要的改革措施
many
已经有了
important
实质性的
policy
做法。
reform
你比如
measures
说
have already been put
关于
into
分类，
implementation.
分类，我们已经有12
For
个
instance,
省
the
把这
categorization
个
of
分类的工作落实
SOEs,
到了
12
具体的企业。
provinces have already
你还比如
implemented
说
this measure.
去年呢，这也向大家
And last year,
通报过，
we have
中央企业有6
communicated
队
the policies to
12
the
家企业
market.
完成了重
We have
这个效果现
6
在看也初
and
步显现了。你还
6
比如说
plus companies which have already finished the reform. We are streamlining the bureaucracy and approval procedures. Municipalities and cities are working very hard to delegate the power. And SASAC itself is also decentralizing the power in terms of the delegation of power and also the streamlining of procedures. We are actually working very hard on this particular front. As these measures were being implemented, we will continue to cut the bureaucracy and streamline the procedures. And we have made initial progress on certain difficult problems. And central SOEs have also made very active explorations and pilots. For instance, the establishment of state-owned assets capital investment group, COFCO and SDIC have made important steps in this particular area. I have already seen quite a lot of initiatives being made by those enterprises, and we also piloted the mixed ownership structure and the great authority for board of directors in China National Building Materials Group and the Sinopharm. For those executives and the senior managers, they can be hired by the board of directors. Of course, there is great pressure in this regard, and that has to do with the evaluation of the performances of the senior managers. But this is the first step we have been taking. But reform is by no means easy. In general, the authorities at the central level are very enthusiastic about the reform, and we are taking a lot of initiative in this area. Of course, this is necessary considering the external environment. At the same time, we have this great sense of urgency within. We have 106 central SOEs concerned in this area in terms of institutions, mechanisms, and systems, and also the management capacity. We have to take into consideration the new normal in the economic growth and also the new dynamics. We still have to keep up with the new development. For instance, the management levels are still too complicated. And sometimes it can be as many as a dozen or more than a dozen levels of management hierarchy. If we look at those very competitive international companies and private enterprises in China, which are very competitive in the international community, we should have that sense of urgency to catch up with the peers in the private sector. That's why we need that urgency and driving force within to push forward the reform. I think overall we have very high enthusiasm and we are very confident in overcoming the difficulties. Of course, undoubtedly, we cannot deny that there might be managers or executives who still lack a full understanding of the reform picture. And some people may flinch from the challenges we face in the reform process. So there will be resistance, but these are very individual and isolated cases. For this kind of situation, I think we have to press ahead with reform. We have to be very persistent. And the vast majority of the managers and the executives are enthusiastic about the reform agenda. You asked what measures will be taken going forward. Let me answer your question this way. Of course, we face great burden and uphill journey in the future. I think the central government has already made a lot of arrangements. Going forward, we will work on the following following fronts. First, we will continue to improve the documentation system. We will continue to formulate guidance and regulatory documents so that the reform can be more refined and more practical and doable. Number two, we will continue to expand the pilot programs and experimentation. Third, we will transform the functions of the state-owned asset supervision authorities. That means SASAC will continue to better define the supervision functions and responsibilities. There will be a list of functions to be better defined and categorized. In addition, we will continue to improve the reform of the joint stock process and also the corporate structure of the enterprises. At the same time, we need to diversify the equity structure and develop a mixed ownership economy. Just now, I have given you a couple of examples in this regard. Number 7, we will continue to promote the reorganization of the SOEs. Last year, we have achieved quite satisfying results in the 12 pilot companies, and I think we will continue to do this in the future. Number 8, we will continue to improve the efficiency of our supervision. Number 9, we will continue to improve the party and define the role of the party in the SOEs, and the functions of the party will be incorporated into the articles of the association. This is a very complex project. We need to work very hard and pass the baton from one generation to another so that we can make sure that this task can be improved and finished. Thank you.
好，中区第6排靠过道那位男记者，就穿白上衣的，哎，对。
谢谢主持人，我是庞博新闻社的记者，我会用英文提问。What's the hold up with the categorization of SOEs into commercial and public interest companies? How will you categorize companies that have both commercial and national interest aspects, such as telecom and energy-related companies? What exactly also are the roles of China Chengtong Holding Groups and China Reform Holdings Co. in our latest trials for SOE? You mentioned these two were among 10 trials, and what that other companies would be added later. Who are the other companies and what will be their roles? Is it similar to the Temasek model that that was previously talked about? 就这样子，谢谢。
我是彭博新闻社的记者。我有几个问题想向您来提一下。首先呢，我们知道在国企分类改革的过程之中，会根据这个国企它的性质不同，比如说有些是商务公司，有些是公益性质的公司，来进行不同分门别类的改革。但在这个过程之中有一些公司，比如说电信公司以及能源方面的公司，他们也有一些商业方面的这种用途。那么如何来推进这些公司的改革呢？这是第一个问题。第二个问题就是你也提到了，我们该国企改革的过程之中呢，主要有10项重点的任务。那么您能不能给我们介绍一下，就是比如说有一些重点的企业公司呢，他们一直在推动相关的改革，那么具体的改革它的成效是怎么样的，以及相关的计划它是如何部署的？第三个问题呢，就是在国企改革的过程之中，是否会以新加坡的淡马锡公司作为一个范例来推进改革呢？谢谢。
好，谢谢你的问题。
Thank you.
淡马锡呢，这个一直是我们学习的榜样。它在国企管理和国资监管方面呢，确实做了很多有益的尝试。这些尝试呢， 在国有
terms
企
of
业
all
当
of
中
these，aspects,
我
it
们
has
和大
done
马
a
西亚
lot of
从国资委到各个国有
trials
企业都有
and
很好的关
research,
系。
so we
我们也
maintain a
一直
very
在
good
关注大马西这
relationship
些年
with
的进展。
SASAC, and we've been
关于
following
分
their
类
movement closely over
和
the years.
10项
When
试
it
点
comes
工作，
to
今
categorization
年2月
and
24日啊，
trials and pilots,
张锡武
work
副主任呢已经和部分媒体
Deputy
做了沟
Director
通。
Mr. Zhang Xiwu
我想，
already
如果
talked with
你
the
不
press
介意的话，请
earlier this
提我
year,
给大家
and if you don't mind, I
再详细
will
介绍。
refer this
谢谢。
question to Mr. Zhang
这
Xiwu.
个谢谢亚庆同志，也谢谢彭博社的
Thank you,
刚才这
Director
位记者
Shell,
先
and I
生。
want to also thank the reporter
我
for
理
asking
解
the question.
你刚才是3个问题，
You asked
一
three
个是关
questions.
于国有企业
One
功能界定分类，
is the
为什么
categorization
分？
of
第
SOEs,
二个就是国资委
and second,
国有企业今年的10项试点工作，
the 10
第三个
pilots
面临着最
for
大的挑
the
战。
SOE reform this year, and third is the reference
关于国有企
in
业功能界定分类啊，
comparison to Temasek Holdings.
18届三中全会
First, the
提出了
categorization of
明确的
SOEs, according to the third
新的
plenary
要求，
session of the 18th Congress,
也是今
new
年国企改
requirements
革
were
的
made,
一项重点
which are also key points of this year's
一项
SOE reform,
难点。
and also a challenge for
对
us.
国有企业改革分类，
To
主要
categorize
目的啊，
SOE
就是解决
is
过去
to
国企和央企发展的多元化、
address problem that
战
there
略
is a
定位
divergence
不清、
in central SOE and SOE, and a
考
very
核和分配
vague positioning
针
of
对性
such
不强
enterprises.
也不尽科学的问题。
It's not targeted enough. It
你对
was not
分类
targeted enough and
还
not
比较清楚，
specific
确确
enough.
实实
You know
国有
very
企业
clearly the
分为
categorization
商业类
of SOEs.
和
They
公
will
益
be
类
categorized into public interests,
这两类的共同特点是啊，
enterprises, and commercial ones. They share something
国有
in
企
common.
业首先
As an
它是企
SOE,
业，
it's first, on the first hand, is a
都是独立的
enterprise.
市场主体，
They should be independent market entity first.
要融入到市场经济，
It has to integrate itself into the
都要
market
遵
economy,
循
and
市场
it
经济
has to
和企业
follow
发展规律，
the rules and regulations of market economy
都要
and
服务
business
服从于
development. It has
国
to
家的
abide
发
by
展战略，
the development strategy of our
要实
country.
现经济效益和社会效益的
It has
统一。
to unify economic benefits
看
as
两
well
类
as
不同之
social
处啊，
responsibility.
关注点不同在于呀，
But the difference
一个是
lies in the fact
发展的目标不同。
that they have different
从
development
发展的角度
objectives.
看，商业类
From
的
this perspective,
国有企
the
业
commercial
重点要
SOEs
实现
mainly focus on
国有资产的保值增值，
the maintaining and
公益类的企
increasing
业
of asset
重
value.
点是
But for those public
要
interest
提供
ones,
公共产
they
品
are aiming at
和服务。
providing public
从
goods
改
and
革的要
services.
求的角度看，
From the perspective of reform requirements,
商业类的国有企业
it should be said that the commercial ones
可以是独资，也可以是控股，也可以是
they
参
can
股。
be shareholding and also
公益类的国
other
有企业
forms of ownership.
主要是
But if it's a public
国有独资。
public interest enterprise, it has to
从
be
考核的
solely public ownership.
标准来看，商业类的国
In
有企
terms
业
of
重点要考核它的资产
evaluation, first for
经
the
营
commercial
业绩
ones,
的完成情况。
the first indicator would be the
公益
asset
类的国有企业
increase
重
of
点要
asset
考
value.
核
But for those public interest ones,
它提供的
their indicator
公共产品
is
和服务
the
的
quality
保障
of
能
the
力。
goods and services that it provides.
关于你提出来的今年呢
You also
10
asked
项试点，
about the
这项工作。
10 pilots that we are going to kickstart this
国
year.
有企业改革的4点
The
是今
SOE
年改革
reform
的
pilots
重要任务，
is a priority for this year's overall
也
reform.
是改革的重要方法。
And we need reforming
4点能不能
methodology.
迈开步子，趟出路子，
The performance of these pilot
决定
projects
着国有企业
determines
改革的成效。
the effect of
实际我
SOE
们
reform
从
in the future.
2014年
Actually, as early as the year
就选择了
2014, we chose
中粮集团
COFCON
和国投公司
and the
进行了国有资本投资公司的试点。
SDIC as the
今年
trials
呢，
and pilots projects
我们又将
for
要推
reform.
出
And this year,
10项，
we will have
改革的试点。
10 more pilot projects.
将来呀，随着时间的推移，
As time goes
可能
on,
还要推出若干个国有企业。
more pilots
改革的
projects will be
试点。
introduced.
可以说，我们在推
It
进
is
国
fair
有
to
企业
say
改革的
that
过
in
程中，
promoting SOE reform,
始终是坚持4点
we
先行：
always stick to 4
资
priorities.
本问题、
And we always
力
attach
求啊
importance to the pilot projects.
充分发挥4点，
Hopefully,
在
through
整
these
个
pilot
全
projects,
局的工作中起
we
到
can
示
have
范、
a overall
起到突
role
破、
model function for
起到
the comprehensive reform. And hopefully we can
带领作用。
make some breakthroughs
切
in
实
this
的
process.
要解决国有企业改革
And
中的
we hope
难点
that
问
in
题
this process we can
和
address
重点
some
问题。
tangible problems
通过改革的
in
4
the
点，
process of
我
reform.
们想试出
And through the pilot
新体制。
projects,
试出
we want to
新
put
机
a
制。
new system
试
and
出
mechanism
新成效，
and effects
试出新经验、
and experiences into the
试出
trials.
新局面。
We also want to usher in a new
关于刚才你提出
era for the
第3个问题。
SOE reform.
国有企业
About
和
the
大马
first
西
question,
面临的挑战问题，
the challenges
刚才
faced
我
by
们雅
SOE
庆
reform and that of
主任呢
Temasek Holding.
已经
Mr.
对
Xiao,
大马西的问题已经做了回答。
actually, I've already
我
answered your
想
question.
所说的关于挑战，当前国有企
My
业改
additional
革
comment
面临的挑战，
is that we are
面临的最
facing
大的困难，
a lot of difficulties.
因为大家都知道，
As is known
国
to
有企业
all,
改革
SOE reform
确确实实是一个系统的工程。
is a systematic project.
当前我们遇到的难度、
We are facing
硬度、
a lot of
深
difficulties
度，
and
可以说是
impediments,
前所未有。
and that they are truly unprecedented.
这主要是改革开放30多年呢，所
Since reform and opening up,
多年所积淀的矛盾和困难，
a lot of historical
交织在一起。
baggages have been accumulated.
挑战和困难也错
Therefore,
综复杂。
challenges and difficulties
所以只有我们
coexist
抓住
with
关
each
键
other. Therefore, we have
精准的
to
发力，面向
find the
困
key
难来挑
points
战。
and
当前我认为，
encounter these
国
difficulties
企改
head
革的
on.
困难和挑战，
The challenges and
主要是
difficulties in
还是处理好
SOE reform mainly lies in
国有企业激发活力
whether the
与加强监管
SOEs can
相结合的
stimulate
关系问题。
its dynamics and
因为活力
undergone more
是
stricter
国有企业
supervision.
做强
The
做优做大
vitality
的
of an SOE
动力源，
is the source of power for the SOE to grow stronger and bigger, and also it's of paramount importance for it to become more effective and efficient. Supervision is a safety net to prevent national assets from being lost, and also an important guarantee in the development of SOEs. Therefore, in the process of reform, we have to pay attention to stimulating vitality while combining efficient supervision. We can't ignore one for the other.
好，北区，就那位记者对。
谢谢主持人。肖主任您好，我是中央电视台央视网央视新闻客户端的记者。我这几天呢一直在旁听全国政协经济界委员的小组讨论，上面有不少可能应该是您的同事啊，都是过去的同事，央企的负责人。他们在会上啊纷纷在吐苦水，他们说，感觉现在对他们的管理太细了，以至于感觉自己像一个车间，不像一个企业。您曾经也做过央企的主要负责人，现在呢是我们国有资产管理监督部门的掌门人，您对他们的这种感触有何看法？那么我们知道，18届三中全会呢对国有资产管理监督部门呢提出了角色的转变，要从管人、管事儿、管资产向管资本来转变。那实际上这个转变就意味着对国资委来说就是要简政放权、自我革命。但刚才你们也谈到了说我们下放了多少权利，可是外界实际上感觉到我们似乎在自我革命这块动静不是很大。那我们想请问肖主任，今年在这方面有没有新的突破？未来有什么计划和打算？谢谢。
With CCTV, I have two questions. The first question is that now some managers of SOEs are complaining that they're sort of being micromanaged. What is your take on such complaints? The second question is about the transformation of functions of SASAC itself. SASAC has proposed a plan to transform itself. In the past, it was responsible for the supervision of personnel, decisions, and assets of SOEs managed by the central government. And now, SASAC has planned to shift its focus to the supervision of capital use. You said that SASAC is dedicated to delegating its powers and streamlining administration, but so far probably limited progress has been made. My question is, what progress will be made this year, and what are your future plans? Thank you.
好，谢谢您的提问。很高兴您经常倾听企业负责人的声音。
First, I want to thank you for your interest in SOE reform.
监管来讲。现在您说的，我一部分是赞成的。
As a regulator, I agree with part of what you said, especially about the so-called micromanage. The enterprises should be the entity of the market. But also, I want to remind you that if the management is too weak, there's going to be gaps. And it may cause problems. A lot of problems have arisen, which some of which are closely related to the lack of supervision regulation. We are facing daunting tests when it comes to SOE reform. Under such circumstances, the reform of SASAC itself should come first. And is overarchingly important in the comprehensive reform. As for the measures to reform, the existing power regulation needs to be streamlined. And coming up, we should transform, firstly, our positioning. In the past, we mainly regulate the enterprise themselves, but in the future, we need to better manage the assets. We need to streamline, optimize, and adjust the perspective for regulation. And second, we need to have two list. The first is the list or spreadsheet for power, and second is the spreadsheet for obligations. For those who are in our jurisdiction, we need to have careful and efficient regulation. For those who are not our responsibility, we need to back off in a timely fashion and leave more room for the enterprise themselves to do self-management. And also, there are 3 assets. If something is due to be managed by the enterprise themselves, this kind of power should be dedicated to them. And you need to, each one should be responsible for its own due responsibility. If it's a Tier 1 enterprise, it should have its own responsibility. And second is the public management responsibility of the SASAC. It should be the obligation of the government, and we are also streaming efforts in that regard.
In addition, we will give priority to the supervision of the distribution of state capital and better regulate the operation of the capital in order to increase the returns on those assets. Of course, we have to pay attention to the safety of the assets as well. Therefore, the reform task is a very daunting one, and we ourselves are learning a lot in the process, and we try to sort out the reform sequence and also the priorities. But we remain very steadfast in this regard, and we will continue to implement the requirements and guidance of the central government. Last year, we said that we have to have the determination to cut the wrist like a brave soldier. And we have set up a task force to study the reorganization and the restructuring of the SOEs. By doing so, we hope to see to it that the reform will come to fruition. Thank you.
中区第5排右数第3个女士，那个。
谢谢主持人，发言人您好，我是新华社记者。我们知道去产能是今年经济工作的5大任务之首。那么近期国务院的一些文件中也明确了国资委和各地政府对于去产能负总责。所以想请问您的是，国资委准备如何对这个负总责如何去做？另外我们也注意到啊，长期以来央企是对外投资的主体。那么也想请您介绍一下境外国有资产的审计和监管方面的一些情况。谢谢。
With Xinhua News Agency, I have 2 questions. The first question is about reducing overcapacity. We know that according to latest documents, SASAC and relevant provincial governments take overall responsibility for addressing overcapacity. So, Minister Xiao, my question is, how will SASAC carry out its responsibility? How will SASAC materialize its overall responsibility in addressing overcapacity? The second question is about overseas investment. We know that China's SOEs are playing a major role in making investment overseas. So what is the situation of the auditing and supervision of our state-owned assets overseas? Thank you.
好，谢谢您的问题。
Thank you for your question.
我理解呢，你想问的问题
Well,
呢，
I understand that you are asking that in SOEs, especially in central SOEs, the supply side structure reform is a daunting task. The total assets, the 70% of these state-owned assets are in the heavy industry. So in carrying out the supply-side structural reform, we have to work on the following fronts. First, we will have to pursue innovation and push forward the reorganization in order to phase out some of the backward capacity. For those strategically emerging industries such as aerospace and aviation, nuclear energy, high-speed rail, new energy, new materials, and other areas, and also state grid or smart grid, we need to increase investment. For those central SOEs which have been loss-making for some time and which have been inefficient for a long time, we need to dispose of the assets in order to reduce the overcapacity. Number two, we have to pursue innovation in 3 areas: scientific and technological innovation, managerial innovation, and business model innovation. In this regard, to make sure that reform is complete, we have a lot of work to do. Central SOEs have a lot of innovative results and products. For instance, last year, during the scientific reward ceremony, the top prizes were almost dominated by the central SOEs. 34% of the awards were gained by central SOEs. But in these areas, we still have to work hard. Regarding business model innovation, we need to ask ourselves how to use the internet and big data to make sure that SOEs at the central level can make big strides. And these are areas in which we can improve upon. We also need to pursue innovation-driven development to promote entrepreneurship and mass innovation. Internet Plus is a very good approach, and also China Manufacturing 2025 is a very good opportunity where central SOEs can play a big role. And in order to achieve this, we need to improve our management, technology, and business models, and pursue innovation in all these areas. Third, we need to improve the quality and also the branding of central SOEs. I think central SOEs can play a leading role in this area. We have a full portfolio of products. However, we don't have a lot of premium and high-end products, and the brand is even less. If we look at those product and brand intensive companies, central SOEs do not find any position in the top 100. But we have 11 central SOEs among the top 500. If we look at the growing demand of the consumers, the quality, the type of products cannot actually meet the demand of the consumers. And the services provided by central SOEs in different industries also fall short of the expectations. So there is huge room for us to improve, and we can see drastic changes in these areas if we work hard. 8,000 central SOEs have made investments in over 150 countries around the world. In recent years, we have been stepping up our supervision of these investments. And in this round of reform, this will also be part of the priority on our reform agenda. Thank you.
南区那位外国记者，女记者。
谢谢主持人，我是那个《金融时报》的一个记者，我有2个问题。昨天那个傅成玉先生他提到那个石油的3大公司，他说从外边看是3大公司，但是从内部看，每个公司就是一个领域，效率也不很低了。所以我想问一下，肖主任有没有一些计划在石油的那个行业，具体的一些蓝图的改革，能不能给我们投入一下？第2个问题有点相关，就是您打那个中铝的头的时候，大家都强调那个长而不大的问题。现在有新一步波兰的那个国营的改革，怎么避免这个长而不大的问题变得更严重？谢谢。
With Financial Times, I have 2 questions. The first question is that Mr. Fu Chengyu yesterday talked about the situation of the 3 major oil companies in China. They said that probably these companies are not efficient enough. So my first question is, what is the reform blueprint for the oil for the companies in the oil sector? The second question is that in the past you worked for Chinoco, and actually there are some companies which what we call too strong to fail in China. What kind of specific measures will be taken to reform these companies? Thank you.
好，谢谢您的提问。
Thank you for your question.
傅成玉委员的提的问题呢，是他
The question raised by Mr. Fu Chengyu actually is, I think, very clear. Yesterday, he indeed mentioned the 3 big oil companies. They have very complete supply chains. They have different functions looking from outside, but looking inside, they have overlapping functions. I think this not only exists in the 3 big oil companies, we also have similar phenomena in other industries and companies. Therefore, this will be a very important task we need to finish in the future reform process. For instance, last year, in telecommunications, telecom, and China Union and other telecom communication companies, we have established communications towers. And these companies have chosen the best location to build the towers. In that process, a lot of resources have been wasted. So to address this problem, they put together the resources to reduce wastage and provide better services to the general public. In other central SOEs, we also have a lot of such phenomena which need to be revamped and overhauled. In this area, we are working very hard to eliminate the overlapping functions at the vertical level. Horizontally, we are also trying to use a market-based approach to eliminate the inefficiencies. By doing so, we can improve the overall efficiency of the industry and companies. So we are combining the efforts on the vertical supply chain and also efforts in the horizontal direction. We can share resources, improve the quality of the services, and reduce prices in the industry. In this way, we can guarantee that the operation of the companies will be more smooth and they can be more responsive to the market changes. Let me give you another example. In the past couple of years, in electricity companies or power generation companies, we saw that some companies have power equipment manufacturing, power generation, and a host of other functions. They were small in scale, but they were self-contained companies. And I think this runs counter to the laws of the market. And this is a very important task, and going forward, we will continue to see more results being produced as the reform proceeds smoothly. In terms of the too big to fail question, I think you have noted that we want to strengthen the quality as well as the size of the company. It takes time for a company to expand its size, and in this area we are redoubling our efforts. Big companies will become better in terms of their operations. Through reorganization and mergers and acquisition, some companies will see improved competitiveness. Let me give you an example. We have 106 enterprises. The total assets of the biggest company is 4.01 trillion, and the smallest company is 4.7. And the biggest company employs 1.5 million workers, but the smallest company employs only several thousand. So the big difference lies in these companies, and the task of reform is daunting.
And the content of reform is very rich. There are a lot of complications along the way, but we need to start to address these complications one by one.
对，就是中区第5排那位女记者，对。
谢谢主持人，我是经济参考报的记者。我想请问肖主任，我们可以看到呢，今年的整个经济下行压力越来越大了，国有企业的那个经济效益也在下滑，同时呢，特别是中央企业呢也出现了负增长。那么您看的话，今年我们是不是有可能中央企业能够去扭转这样的一个下滑趋势？我们会有怎样的一些具体的措施和计划？谢谢。
With Economic Information Daily, this year the downward pressure on the Chinese economy is rising. Meanwhile, the economic returns of the SOEs are falling. In particular, the SOEs managed by the central government have suffered negative growth. My question is, Mr. Xiao, do you think the SOEs managed by the central government will reverse the downward trend this year? What kind of specific measures will be taken in this field? Thank you.
好，谢谢您的问题。
Thank you for the question.
去年呢，中央企业整体利润啊。
Last year, the overall profit of the central SOE registered negative growth, which is minus 6.9%.
确实，大家也看到了，有一个重要的原因就是石油价格，
One important reason
原油价格去年全年
the plummet of crude oil price, which is down by 47% in 1 year, and also the a dropping of other commodity price, for example, steel and iron. But if you eradicate the price factor, it is still register positive growth, but we are still feeling the pressure. So this year, pressure is turning into motivation for us. I want to brief you firstly on the profit of the central SOEs. The profit of central SOEs in the first 2 months is 4.7%, and the debt ratio is down by 32%. I think this general situation is stable. Of course, the growth in profit mainly is due to the low base number of last year. but also it showcased the effort that is being made in the improving of efficiency. The central SOE takes up a large share in GDP, which is about 1/10 of the national total, and the taxation submitted is also quite big.
理应在稳增长当中率先努力。
Therefore, they need to take the leading role in stabilizing growth.
现在这个经济下行压力。
But it's worth noticing that facing downward pressure, we need to look at the problem of insufficient domestic demand and also the challenges faced by reforms. But I believe how big is the downward pressure? We already have a sensible forecast of the downward pressure, but now we see a lot of panicking atmosphere. By the end of February, we held a meeting concerning reform of SOEs. So when people were talking about the prospect for this year's economy,
在两会期间，在两会之前，对本企业的情
some
况、
major
本行业的情况，
enterprises
未来发展的一些态势，都在做详细的分析。
are doing detailed analysis of the current status quo and prospect of Chinese economy.
心中有数。
They have their
所以
resolve
在价格
and they
下
have
行，
a clear
对在
judgment
低价位
of
的
the
情况下，
future.
怎么
When the
样保
price
增长？
matter is low, we need
怎
to
么样
maintain
稳住市场？
economic growth and
都有自己
stabilize the market.
很多具体的措施，也
And
请大家
detailed
关注
measures
各个
are
企业。
already taking place.
但是
And
我要说
hopefully
的
you
是
can follow closely
就
their
央企的各个
movement.
行业来看，就我们所处的目前的状
The
况，
central SOEs
这个恐慌的心理
are located in
比这个
different
下行更可怕，会带来更大的
industries.
下行。
But I think
大家
this kind
看
of
我们大宗
panicking
商品
atmosphere
包括
is
石油
even more terrifying
超低的价
than
格
the，downward
我
pressure.
认为也不正
The
常。
low price of
很多
oil,
商品已经远低于
crude oil,
它的制
is
造成本，
abnormal.
怎么能够
And
持续下
also,
行？
some commodity price is
我们
lower
13亿
than
人
is the
是
manufacturing
最大的
cost.
发展中国家，
As the biggest developing country with
我们现在的水平，
1.3 billion
我们
population,
现在人均消耗的能源量，
our per
人均
capita
拥有的资
energy
源量，
consumption
远
and
低于
resource
这些发
ownership
达的国家。
is far below
我们就
those
从
in the
企业的
developed
层面来看，
countries. So from the business
世界最
perspective,
好的能矿资源，几十年前甚至100年前，
decades
都
ago
已经被世界
or
这些
hundreds
大
of
的公
years
司
ago, a lot of the
所拥有。
mining resources are already
我们
obtained by the big
用气
tycoons.
用电量，
Our gas
全球看
utilization
依然是
and
比较
the
简单的例子
electricity
就是我们的
consumption
阶梯电价，
per capita
我
is
们
still
第一
at
级的
a
电价
lower level.
电量也
And
只有
also
100多度
the energy
200度或者
tariff
新的叫千瓦小时。
at the
那你
first
看看
threshold
发达
is
的国家，
only 100 kilowatts
同样
hour.
和我
And
们
if you look at those
人均
developed
GDP 差不多的
countries
国家，
or
它
the
的能源
countries
消耗是
with
多少？
generally the same per capita GDP, their
我
energy
们再看看
consumption and
我
the
们现
electricity
在
consumption
13
is
亿
far
人，
higher than that of China. We have a 1.3
大
billion
家
population.
要奔小康，要全面建设小康，
Everybody is
我们
aspired
现在
to live
还
a
在
well
努
of
力
life,
还有很大的差距，
but we are
所以我们这
still
个市
lagging
场大得
behind
很，
in many aspects.
是吧？市场大得很。
In other words,
关
the
键是从
potential
央
for
企
market
开始，
growth is
从
still
我们做起啊，
promising.
就是要振奋精神，就
So
是要
SOEs
真抓实
need to
干，就是
be
得把你的
inspired
产品
and
质
they need
量
to
提高，
need
把
to
你的
remain
成本
confident.
降下
You
来，
need to
给
improve
大
the
家
quality
提
while
供
lowering the cost
更多
in
的
order to
产品，
provide
更好的服
better
务，
services
这
and
一块
goods
的
to
空
the
间大得
consumers.
很，是吧？这一
This
块的空
is
间大得很。
something that the SOEs
所以呢，
need to be working on.
总体上，我们由于这样
So
那样
generally speaking,
困难和
due
问题，
to various
还在努力，
reasons and causes,
正在努
we are
力，
still
是吧？一定
halfway
在
through
稳增长中，央企、国
in
有企业
stabilizing growth,
要做贡献，要率先。
and the SOEs and central SOEs need to counter the current difficulties.
谢谢，请。